My name is Ian and welcome to Planted. In this video I want to share with you what I think is a big secret. Anybody can do it, experienced or novice alike, and I really hope that more and more people have this breakthrough. Now I get plants from my garden from nurseries, mail order, seed, propagation, a whole range of sources. But one of the easiest ways to get plants in your garden is to let seeds grow in your garden from year to year, and then dig them up, divide them, pot them on, give them to friends, arrange them in a new planting, and it's completely free. And I do this and I share it with my friends, and they're always surprised at the number of plants that I've got available on a regular basis. Why is it that it's successful in my garden? Well, that is the subject of this video. Quite simply, I stopped using mulch in my garden years ago. The late spring, early summer habitual reapplication of more mulch is detrimental to plant growth. It's not natural for a plant to have to grow through 3, 4, 5 inches deep of mulch. And I don't have mulch in my garden. I use top dressing, which is partly decomposed organic matter, and that is very beneficial. What this means is that in my garden, for the months of November, December, January, February, and March, 5 months, there's a 2-inch layer, maybe a 3-inch layer of leaves over the whole garden, and those leaves are gradually decomposing, releasing their nutrients. Worm activity is encouraged, bugs and bacteria also get to work in that time frame. Now in mid-springtime, those leaves get dug into the soil and blended with the soil and continue to release valuable nutrients. And then I don't add mulch. Mulch is not featured in my garden. What this means is that from mid-March, all of April, all of May, the top surface of my soil is undisturbed unless I'm putting a plant in. It also means that there's lots of places for naturally occurring seeds, not just to germinate, but actually to grow when you can identify what they are. And I want to show you a few of the plants that I grow in my garden that are all from these naturally occurring seedlings, because I don't use mulch. Let's just make a few points about mulch. There is good mulch. It should decompose. It should improve the soil structure. But nowadays we have lots of mulch that is dyed and colored, is very poor quality, is high in lignified material, and that takes a long time to decompose and release its nutrients. And what it does, it actually robs nitrogen from the plants to break down the organic matter. So when you add mulch, are you helping your plants grow? Quite possibly not the degree to which you think you are. Let's go on a garden tour and let me show you some of the plants that grow naturally and what you can expect if you don't use mulch as heavy as is traditionally encouraged. So no mulch in my garden, and this is what you can expect. I should just say that, sure, you're going to get a few weeds come up, but stay on top of them. Pull a few out one day, 5 days later go and pull a few more weeds. You don't have to have every ounce of your garden highly maintained, but you can keep the weeds under control. Before we go on a tour, I just want to show you a clip of a video I did last year about a beautiful plant called Beonia Grandis. This is a hardy begonia, and it's going to be the feature of this video in just a few minutes. So what I have here is a new plant for my garden. I got it a few months ago and I planted it immediately. That would be probably early June. It's called Beonia Grandis. And the Grandis is Grandis, and the G is in lowercase, which means that it's a naturally occurring species. What that also means is that it's typically tougher, more resilient, and not quite so finicky as some of the cultivars. What makes it special here in Connecticut is that apparently it is hardy. This is a begonia that's going to stay in this location. This is the begonia that I just featured, and I didn't let it stay in place. I actually dug it up and relocated it. I found that plants in the first year can be a little temperamental, so I dug this plant up, put it in my cold greenhouse, and here we are, looking very happy and healthy. I like this foliage, as I said to you before, and when it comes out in full flower, just beautiful. So that is the plant that I just talked about. But come over here and have a look at this. This is the place that begonia was planted. It was planted right here. And if you look carefully, you can see we've got lots of seedlings. We've got some here, there's more there, more here. They are all over the place. So all of this is because this plant was allowed to flower, go to seed, the seeds were dropped, and then the soil's not been disturbed and not covered with mulch. You can do this. This cost me absolutely nothing. Just a little bit of timing and coordination. I've been growing this plant for a few years now. This is the stupendously reliable Nicotiana Langsdorffii. It has these little petite flowers, just copious amounts of them. When the wind blows, the whole plant shakes. It is just wonderful. What you can see there's one of the earlier flowers. That will potentially, that seed pod is what will generate hundreds of little seeds, and they'll all fall in this area. And next year I know to look in this area should I want some more. So in here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got about 10 plants, and I found these as little seedlings, stuck them in a pot, and started to grow them earlier on in the year. It didn't cost me a cent. And this is the magic of not using mulch. You let seeds germinate. As those Nicotiana are new to that location, there's going to be no seeds there to have a look for. But I often get asked, how do you know what it is that you want to save? Well, let's just have a little zoom in here. This is weed, get rid of that. That is a little Nicotiana seedling. And I've seen these over the years. It's amazing how you get your eye in. You start to recognize the color and the leaf shape, and before you know it, you found yourself a new little plant. Let's keep going. This is a plant called Beonia Grandis, and you think, why on earth would you spot that? But there it is, and I'm going to show you more of those in a moment. And here's some more of the Nicotiana. 1, 2, 3. So very easy just to dig that plant up, stick it in a pot, and then move it somewhere that you would like. Let me show you the beautiful and fantastic Beonia Grandis. Here it is. I dug up 3 of these plants and put them in my cold greenhouse for the winter. And as you can see, we're starting to put out flower spikes. There is the flower. Don't be put off. You're not going to get every plant right first time. But when you know that this is the plant called Beonia Grandis, then it's not unreasonable to expect there to be in this area germinated plant. And finally, let's look at this euphorbia. This plant was given to me as seeds. Here you go. It's got that lime green to it again. These are the flowers. But if we go a little bit further down, you see there's the flower right there, and there is the green seed. It'll split into 3, and they'll just drop to the ground. I like the shape. Very tough, very hardy. I do nothing. This is a completely self-set plant, and here you can see the foliage. Quite structural, doesn't blow down, and we've got a couple of plants right there. But let's just zoom in a little bit further, and what do we find? Not difficult to realize that that is a little seedling. And we have some more. I'm mindful that not everybody is going to want to give up mulch. It does hold in water, it does reduce weeds, but what I'm saying is that maybe in some areas, allow your plants to set seed, and you too can have a source of wonderful, healthy, viable plants that grow in your zone. Bye for now.